In 1494, two European kingdoms decided to solve global competition. They drew a line on a map. Everything on one side belonged to Spain, everything on the other side belonged to Portugal. No consultations, no surveys, no awareness of how big the planet actually was. This is the story of Treaty of Tordesillas, when confidence officially outpaced geography. By the late 15th century, Europe was discovering new lands. Not discovering in the modern sense, more in a oh wow, there's a more lot planet than we expected sense. Spain and Portugal were leading the charge. They explored aggressively, competed intensely, and did not trust each other at all. This rivalry needed management, and they preferred divine management. Both Spain and Portugal appealed to the Pope, because if you're going to divide the earth, you might as well ask God's representative. The Pope issued a ruling. Spain gets one side, Portugal gets the other. Problem solved, except both sides immediately argued where the line actually was, which brings us to the treaty. The Treaty of Tordesillas established imaginary north-south line in the Atlantic Ocean, roughly 370 leagues west of the Cape Verde Islands. Everything east on a line, Portugal. Everything west on a line, Spain. Simple, elegant, wildly optimistic. This treaty assumed the earth was small enough to divide easily. Longitude could be measured accurately and everyone would respect the line. None of these were true. Longitude wouldn't be solved for centuries. Maps were aspirational and the other European powers immediately ignored the agreement, but Spain and Portugal took it very seriously. Here's the twist. Because of where the line was drawn, part of South America fell on a Portugal side. That part became Brazil. Not because Portugal planned it, but because the math happened to work out. One treaty accidentally shaped an entire continent, language, culture and future. No pressure. And yes, they do have a space program. As exploration continued, a new problem emerged. The world was much larger than expected, which raised an uncomfortable question. What happens on the other side of a planet? Spain and Portugal both claimed Asia, both claimed islands, both claimed trade routes. The line didn't stop disputes, it multiplied them. The treaty relied on mutual respect. There was no enforcement mechanism, no global authority, no shared map. Other powers, England, France, the Netherlands, simply ignored it. They weren't invited, they didn't care, they showed up anyway. The treaty divided the world in theory, in practice it divided nothing. Despite its flaws, the Treaty of Tordesillas mattered enormously. It shaped colonial patterns, determined languages spoke today, set precedents for imperial claims, normalized dividing land without inhabitants' consent. This wasn't just arrogance, it was a system being invented in real time. The real problem wasn't the geography, it was the assumption the authority could be declared, that distance could be ignored, that the world could be owned on paper. Empires often confuse maps with reality. History usually corrects that mistake. The Treaty of Tordesillas didn't fail because it was unfair. It failed because it was imaginary. Power written on paper only works when reality cooperates, and reality did not sign the treaty. Spain and Portugal tried to divide the world with a line. The world responded by being much larger, more complicated, and far less obedient, because the fastest way to expose imperial confidence is to let it meet geography. Hit like, subscribe, and next time we'll look at another agreement that assumed control and discover limits instead.